Hello everyone, my name is Abdul Kalam Azad. I am a researcher, community worker from Miya community in Assam. Currently I am working as a postdoctoral fellow at Vrije University at Amsterdam. In 2021, I started a virtual platform called School for Epistemic Justice. The prime objective of this platform is to engage with young researchers and community workers from our community on the question of epistemic violence. Today, I want to share with you all why I felt it necessary to start a platform like this to talk about epistemic violence, epistemic injustice. I would also like to engage with other stakeholders, not only with our community workers, our community members, our researchers, but also a wider range of people, those who can build solidarity with our situation, with our problem, with our challenges we are facing today. We are faced with a series of structural and physical violence, also as well as cultural violence. When we see this, we find a deep connection with the knowledge production system. When our community was brought in here during colonial time, it was one land, it was one country. Our ancestors were brought in from Bengal province of British India. But in post-colonial time, we see that how our community is otherized. Soon after the partition and independence, we see a huge riot in Assam. There has been series of physical violence, there has been massacres, cases like Nelly where several thousands people were killed in broad daylight. Today, from where I'm speaking to you all, this place has been ravaged recently by administration in the name of clearing government land. And this is not an isolated incident. In the last couple of years, several hundred thousands people have been uprooted from their homes and hearts with the allegation of being illegal encroachers, of being illegal immigrant, of being foreigner. So this kind of dehumanizing words and phrases are used to identify this community. But we know that most of these people are victims of climate change. And today, because of adverse impact of climate change, the intensity of flood and erosion has increased. Every year, hundreds and thousands of people are getting eroded, moving to other areas, and often they settle in government land. And who are not settling in government land? People from other communities are also sitting. Sometimes even we see how the government land is being used by corporate and people with power. But our community is getting evicted. One of the incident is a very heartbreaking kind of incident. In fact, all the eviction cases are really heartbreaking. But this case, where in Dorong, a person named Moinul Haq, his house was one of the 800 houses which were demolished in one day. He wanted to protect his house with a bamboo stick. Police fired him. His dead body was lying on the ground. And the story doesn't end here. A government appointed photographer stomped upon the dead body of Moinul Haq. How someone can possess so much of hatred? From where this hatred is coming? When we try to analyze these problems, we find that our community has been otherized. I argue that this is done through knowledge production, which has been going on for several decades. Our community is portrayed as others, as illegal, as immigrant, as foreigner, as Bangladeshi. Through this constant knowledge production in various forms, in newspaper, you won't find a single newspaper where our community is not abused with these dehumanizing words. Through this pile-up of knowledge over the years and decades, today our community is isolated from the mainstream imagination of greater Assamese society. And when our community is subjected to this kind of violence, no one is showing solidarity. As I was saying, that from the place where from where I'm speaking, you won't find a single TV report, a single newspaper report in mainstream newspapers. No intellectuals, no academics, no journalists from the mainstream establishment talking about this. So in this darkness, what do? We need to engage with the question of epistemic violence. It's not just generating genocidal knowledge, but also it's blocking the knowledge production. In many occasions, we can feel that this oppression is internalized. We don't have frames, we don't have words, we don't have language to talk about this. If we want to talk, we want to express our problems, we need to use the dominant frames. If some of us want to write about this issue, we will have to write the language they understand. So as the concept of epistemic justice, epistemic violence, epistemic injustice talks about this hermeneutical injustice and testimonial injustice, we find it very much present. We find it happening with us. Every day, people from our community going to the foreigners tribunal in large number. They are pleading before the member of the tribunal that I am Indian. Sometimes their parents, their children are going to give the testimony that this person is my father or my son, my daughter. The tribunal member is not believing them, not trusting them. The institution does not find this person worthy of knowing. Their testimony is not accepted. We also see that we do not have words and phrases and articulation to talk about this. So what do? That was the question which resulted in starting this initiative called School for Epistemic Justice. Over the last more than a year, we have been engaging on this issue. We are talking about this. We are sharing our thoughts, our emotions, our experience among ourselves. Now, we feel that we should expand this area of discussion. We should invite you all as well to be part of this discussion, to build solidarity with this struggle and help us attain epistemic justice for our community. Thank you.